They tried to bury you. They thought it was over. But they didn't know, the seed they buried wasn't dead, it was planted. And what's planted by God always rises again. Listen carefully, this isn't just another message. This is your reminder. You're not weak, you're not forgotten, and you're not empty. You've been carrying something divine inside you all along, something the world can't explain. That's your green power. When God breathes His life into someone, He places a unique energy, a life-restoring anointing, that revives what's dying and awakens what's sleeping. That's what's inside you. That's why people feel lighter when you walk into the room. That's why even when you're broken, others find peace around you. Because your spirit carries the same energy that raised you again and again. You may have lost things. You may have faced silence, heartbreak, rejection, and long nights wondering if God even remembered your name. But what you didn't see was that in every moment of pain, God was watering your roots. He was strengthening your foundation, preparing you for seasons that needed your power, the power to restore, to breathe life, to grow again. The green power isn't about status. It's about survival. It's about carrying the same life God used to turn darkness into light. It's about being the vessel through which new beginnings flow. You were never called to be ordinary. That's why you never fit in with ordinary people. You were chosen to be different, to stand out, to carry something that others could only sense but never understand. Do you ever wonder why people come to you for advice, even when you're hurting yourself? Why strangers open their hearts around you? It's because your spirit radiates the color of life. They see something in you that reminds them of home, peace, hope, healing. That's your green power at work. God doesn't give everyone this gift. He chooses specific souls, those who've been through wilderness, those who've faced deserts, those who've known emptiness, because only they understand the value of growth. Before you could ever revive others, you had to learn how to be revived. Before you could bring life, you had to walk through seasons that felt lifeless. That's how He trains His chosen ones. The world calls it resilience. Heaven calls it anointing. It's the same strength that made David rise from a shepherd to a king. It's the same spirit that gave Joseph favor even in prison. It's the same life force that brought Lazarus out of the tomb. And now, it's inside you. You're not just surviving, you're sprouting. Every tear you've cried became water to your purpose. Every no became fertilizer for your destiny. Every time someone walked away, it made more space for what God was about to grow. The green power isn't loud. It doesn't seek attention. It works quietly underground like roots. And when the time is right, it breaks through the soil and rises with beauty that no storm can stop. You've been growing in silence, but soon the world will see your bloom. The enemy tried to convince you you're finished. But what the enemy didn't know is that God specializes in resurrection. You can't destroy what God designed to rise again. Every time life tried to cut you down, you came back stronger. That's your sign. Your green power never left you. Some of you have been asking, God, why does it feel like I'm stuck? But God is saying, you're not stuck, you're planted. Planted doesn't mean buried. It means purpose is taking root. It means transformation is happening beneath the surface. Don't mistake hiddenness for absence. God hides you before He reveals you. Because if He showed the world your full power too soon, they'd try to destroy it before it matured. Right now, heaven is watching the soil move. The ground that once felt heavy will soon open. The same people who walked away will have to watch you rise. The same places that rejected you will witness your return. Because what's meant to grow cannot be stopped. You've been chosen not just to live, but to give life. To speak words that awaken faith. To carry light where darkness once ruled. That's why you feel so deeply. That's why certain rooms feel heavy. Because your spirit senses what's dying, and God sends you there to bring it back to life. You've wondered why you're always the one lifting others while no one lifts you. It's because God trusted you with the power of renewal. He knew your spirit could handle the weight of others' pain. He knew your roots were deep enough to draw from His river when the world ran dry. You are a living vessel of restoration. Remember this: grass stays green because its roots stay connected to water. Your power remains because your soul stays connected to God. Don't let distractions pull you from the source. Don't let noise make you doubt the life inside you. Stay rooted in prayer. Stay grounded in faith. Because the more connected you are, the greener your life becomes. There will be days when you feel dry again, when nothing seems to move. But even then, God is working beneath. Roots don't stop growing just because you can't see them. Keep believing. Keep watering your faith with worship. Keep speaking life even when everything feels lifeless. Because the power in you is not temporary, it's eternal. God didn't give you the green power just to survive storms. He gave it so you could change the atmosphere of storms. Where others see endings, you'll see beginnings. Where others see ruins, you'll plant gardens. You're not just blessed, you're a carrier of blessing. You may not see it, but every person you've touched, every heart you've encouraged, every tear you've wiped, that's fruit growing from your life. And God sees it all. He sees how you kept showing up even when you were tired. He sees how you loved even after being broken. He sees how you forgave even when no one apologized. That's what makes your power pure. That's why heaven calls you chosen. Some of you are about to step into a season where what you planted in tears will bloom in joy. The prayers you thought went unheard are about to echo back with answers. The opportunities that closed will open again, but this time you'll walk in with confidence, not confusion. Because you'll know who you are, a chosen vessel with green power flowing through your veins. When people ask how you're still standing, tell them, it's not me, it's the life of God in me. When they ask why you still believe, tell them, because I've seen dead things live again. When they ask what keeps you going, tell them, my roots go deep, and my source never runs dry. You are proof that growth can come from grief. You are proof that God can bring beauty out of ashes. You are proof that the enemy can't bury what God has planted. Every sunrise is a whisper from heaven saying, you still have the power. Every breath you take is a reminder that life still flows through you. So rise up again. Speak again. Love again. Build again. Because your story isn't ending, it's sprouting. The green power is not just a blessing, it's a calling. God gave it to you so that your presence could bring light to broken spaces. He didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because you were willing. Willing to heal. Willing to believe again. Willing to keep faith even when nothing made sense. Now it's time to walk in it. No more hiding your strength. No more shrinking your light. No more doubting your worth. You were made to grow, to revive, to restore. You are a walking sign of God's renewal. You are His living proof that life wins. And when they see your next bloom, when they see how everything that once withered around you is now alive again, they'll finally understand. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was the green power of God flowing through His chosen one. So breathe. Smile. Keep growing. Because this is why God gave you the green power. So that wherever you go, life follows. Maybe you didn't realize it yet, but every storm that was sent to destroy you was actually sent to reveal you. God never wastes a battle. Every tear that hit the ground became a seed. And now, heaven is preparing a harvest that will silence every doubt you ever had. You see, your green power doesn't just grow in sunshine, it thrives in the rain. You were never meant to live a life without challenges. You were meant to carry the kind of grace that turns challenges into change. That's why you survived things that others didn't. That's why you came back from pain that should have left you cold. Because the life inside you refused to die. God placed His breath in you, and that breath doesn't expire. It keeps creating, keeps restoring, keeps lifting. Even when your heart feels heavy, His Spirit moves quietly through you like wine through the trees, unseen, but powerful. You think you're standing still, but God says, you're growing where they can't see. When others see only dirt, He sees destiny. When others walk away, He plants roots deeper. When others count you out, He counts you in. Because His plans for you aren't dependent on people's opinions. They're rooted in eternity. Every season of silence has been building your sensitivity. You hear what others ignore. You feel what others dismiss. Because God didn't just give you life, He gave you discernment. Your green power is also your spiritual radar. You can sense when someone's spirit is weary, when a room needs peace, when a heart needs hope. That's not your emotion, that's your assignment. You were created to bring restoration, to walk into broken places and turn them into gardens again, to speak to dry bones and watch them come to life. That's why God let you experience your own droughts, because now, when you see someone else dry, you know how to pray. You know how to water them with words of life. And sometimes, that's all the green power needs, a whisper of faith. Because faith is the seed, and God is the sun. You just speak it, and He breathes on it. You say, "It will happen," and heaven agrees. That's the kind of authority hidden inside you. But here's the thing, the enemy knows this. He knows what's inside you could shift atmospheres. He knows that your presence alone could break chains without you saying a word. So he tries to exhaust you before you discover what you carry. He attacks your confidence. He clouds your mind with self-doubt. He makes you question your worth. Because if you ever saw yourself the way God sees you, nothing could stop you. You've been fighting invisible wars not because you're weak, but because you're valuable. The more powerful the seed, the deeper it's buried. God's been hiding you for divine timing. Not forgotten, preserved. Not overlooked, protected. You've been underground for a reason, and that reason is about to bloom. When God decides it's your time, no force in hell can delay your growth. You'll rise without trying. You'll shine without striving. You'll walk into rooms and shift them without saying a word. Because divine power doesn't announce itself, it simply shows results. Some of you feel tired of carrying peace in a world that feeds on chaos. But remember, light doesn't compete with darkness, it simply appears and darkness disappears. Your calm is your weapon. Your forgiveness is your victory. Your kindness is your warfare. That's how your green power works. It doesn't destroy, it heals. It doesn't fight for attention, it changes everything silently. And the more you let God flow through you, the stronger it becomes. That's why isolation doesn't mean absence, it's incubation. He's been pruning you, removing old leaves that couldn't grow anymore. Because you can't take dead branches into your next season. He's cutting you not to harm you, but to make room for new fruit. So don't fear the trimming. Don't run from the silence. Don't resist the stretching. Because all of it is preparing you for growth beyond what you imagined. You asked God for elevation, but elevation comes with excavation. He digs deep before He builds high. And when you finally rise, remember this. You are not rising to be seen. You are rising to be useful. The green power isn't fame, it's fruitfulness. It's not about how many see you, but how many heal through you. Your reward isn't applause, it's alignment, being exactly where God needs you to be. There's a reason your presence brings comfort. A reason people feel safe when you speak. A reason your energy feels like spring after a long winter. You've been chosen as a vessel of renewal, not because of your perfection, but because of your perseverance. Even in your brokenness, you kept believing. Even in confusion, you kept trusting. Even in loneliness, you kept loving. That's what made heaven call your name. That's what activated your green power. When others cursed the soil, you prayed for rain. When others gave up, you kept watering. And now, heaven is about to send in abundance. Not because you earned it, but because you endured it. You see, God measures faith differently than humans. People celebrate speed, God celebrates endurance. Because it's not how fast you grow, it's how deeply you're rooted. Quick growth fades fast. But slow growth lasts forever. That's why your progress felt delayed. Because God was building something eternal, not emotional. He wasn't just blessing you, He was becoming your foundation. And now, when the blessings come, you won't break under the weight of them. You'll know how to sustain them, because you grew through the pressure. Don't forget, even Jesus grew in silence for 30 years before His voice shook the earth. If the Savior Himself could wait for the right time, then your waiting is not wasted. It's sacred preparation. And when God releases you fully, the world won't just see you, they'll see Him through you. So let your roots stay humble. Let your branches stretch wide. Let your leaves remain green even when others dry out. Because your consistency is your testimony. You don't need to shout your faith. Live it. You don't need to explain your calling. Walk in it. The right people will recognize what's divine about you without you saying a word. Sometimes, the evidence of God's hand isn't in what you gain, but in what you still have after losing everything. You still have peace. You still have hope. You still have breath. That's your sign. The green power is still active. And soon, that same breath will bring resurrection to areas of your life that felt finished. Dead dreams will move again. Forgotten prayers will rise again. Old visions will bloom again. Because nothing that's rooted in God ever truly dies. You may be walking through a dry valley, but life is hiding inside you. Speak it out. Prophesy over your own heart. Tell your spirit, live again. Because heaven responds to your voice. When you speak faith, the atmosphere changes. When you speak hope, the soil of your life opens up for new seeds. God gave you this green power not to make you greater, but to make His glory visible through you. You are the living evidence that grace still grows in broken ground. That light still shines in dark seasons. That beauty can still come from ashes. And when the next storm comes, because it will, don't panic. Just remember what's inside you. Storms don't drown trees with deep roots. You've been through worse and come out wiser. You've been bent, but never broken. Because your power doesn't come from outside conditions, it comes from within. Every test that shook you was actually watering you. Every delay was designing you. Every closed door was divine direction. You're not late, you're right on time for your bloom. And this time, when you rise, you won't have to explain your process. Your peace will speak for you. Your glow will testify. Your growth will preach louder than any words could. The world will ask, "How did you survive all that?" And you'll smile and say, "Because God planted something inside me that can't die." That's your green power. That's your testimony. That's your reason for still standing. So breathe again, chosen one. Lift your head again. Don't rush your growth, enjoy it. The same God who made you bloom before will do it again, and this time, He'll let everyone see it. He's turning your wilderness into a garden, your tears into rivers, your waiting into wisdom, your wounds into worship. And through it all, He's proving one thing: you were never ordinary. You were heaven's secret weapon, a carrier of divine renewal, a walking sign of revival. That's why you glow different. That's why you attract broken hearts, because God trusts you to remind them that life still exists. You have the power to speak life where others speak fear, to bring calm where others bring chaos, to breathe peace into places that forgot how to rest. You don't have to try, just be. Your presence is purpose enough. So today, walk with quiet confidence. You don't need to chase validation. You were validated on the day God chose you. You don't need to prove your worth, your fruit will prove it. Keep shining, even if no one claps. Keep loving, even if it's not returned. Keep believing, even when nothing looks possible. Because heaven is watching, and heaven rewards faith that doesn't faint. And when you finally look back on this season, you'll realize, every delay, every tear, every night of silence had purpose. It was shaping your roots, deepening your faith, and activating your green power. The same life that God spoke into existence now flows through you. And wherever you go, things will start to live again, because the presence of a chosen one always carries life. So keep walking, keep growing, keep glowing. Because this is why God gave you the green power. Not just to change your life, but to bring life to everything you touch. And maybe, that's the real miracle. Not that you escaped the storm, but that the storm couldn't change who you are. You still have love in your heart. You still have hope in your eyes. You still choose light when darkness would have been easier. That's proof. The power in you is real. See, the enemy tried to convince you that your light was gone. But look at you, still believing, still creating, still praying. That's how heaven recognizes its warriors. Not by how loud they shout, but by how deeply they trust. You've been through seasons where your voice shook. where your faith felt smaller than your fears. But even then, God whispered, "I'm not done growing you yet." He kept you when you didn't even know you were being kept. He covered you when you didn't realize how much danger you were in. And that covering, that protection, was the sign that your assignment was never over. You are here because your purpose refused to die. And now, the same voice that called you out of darkness is calling you into overflow. You are not just going to survive anymore. You're about to thrive. Your life will become the evidence that faith still works. That surrender is stronger than control. That peace is more powerful than pride. The season ahead won't just be about growth, it will be about overflow. You won't just bloom for yourself, you'll bloom for others. People will find rest under your shade. They'll find healing in your presence. They'll find direction from your words. Because when God restores a chosen one, He doesn't do it quietly. He makes it visible so others can find hope through it. And that's exactly what's happening now. He's turning your pain into prophecy. He's turning your struggle into strength. He's turning your journey into someone else's answer. Every lesson you learn in the dark is about to become someone's light. You may not have seen it before, but the anointing on your life is bigger than you. It's not just about your story, it's about everyone your story will touch. So, keep walking in that green power. Let your roots remind you of how far you've come. And let your branches stretch toward what's still possible. The same God who started this growth is not going to stop until you're everything He said you'd be. And when you look around one day and see what has blossomed, you'll realize none of it was wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the silence. Every single moment had divine purpose written on it. And maybe that's why you're hearing this message right now. Because God wanted to remind you. The life in you is still active. The dream in you is still breathing. The purpose in you is still calling your name. You haven't missed it. You're not late. You're right where grace wants you to be. Take a breath. Feel it, that quiet strength inside you. That's heaven reminding you that you still carry His energy. You still carry His life. You still carry the power to change the atmosphere wherever you go. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to prove it. Just live it. Let your actions preach louder than any words. Let your peace speak for your faith. Let your consistency be your testimony. And as you step into the next chapter, remember, God didn't give you this green power just to look alive, but to bring life. Wherever you walk, let something wake up again. Let hope rise again. Let people feel lighter because you exist. That's your real ministry. That's your real purpose. That's the reason you were chosen. Because when a soul like yours chooses to keep glowing, it gives the world permission to believe again. And that is heaven's greatest miracle. So, before you leave, if something in this message reminded you of your own light, take a quiet second and stay connected. Not just to these words, but to the kind of faith that keeps them alive. There's more life coming. More messages, more reminders, more moments that will speak straight to your spirit. And you don't want to miss what God has planned next. Stay close. Stay growing. Stay rooted. Because the same voice that called you here isn't finished speaking yet.